Hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that have been here supporting me over the years, cannot believe it's been 20 years of creating content online, and so much has changed. And I just want to begin by thanking all of you for all the support over these years. You've really helped me grow into the person that I am today. And today I wanted to share a little bit about who that person is, because I've been a little absent on this channel since 2020. I feel like we've transitioned through so many different things here recently, and I wanted to talk a little bit about where I am now, as well as share some thoughts that I have on some things that I'm experiencing here in life. I've been questioning how I could return back to this channel, because I feel like this is where it all began. And I feel like part of that journey was very much so me sharing my personal journey with you all. And I've kind of transitioned out of being so open about my personal life, but I realized that when it comes to the people who follow me and the people who connect with me, a lot of you all connected to me through my personal stories. And when I kind of switched over to my professional coaching persona online, I wasn't getting a lot of connection. So I wanted to kind of bring this back into the realm of still sharing my personal journey, but also sharing important growth messages in my content, because I am a coach. I do work with people to connect them to their passions, whether that's through being an entrepreneur and launching your own business, or finding work that aligns with your passions better, or just finding a way to incorporate your passions into your day-to-day life. Because some people have careers that pay really well, have a lot of great benefits, and they're not looking to become an entrepreneur, and they're not looking to change jobs, but they are looking for ways to kind of connect their passions back to their life. So that's what I've been doing professionally. I've been through lots of different niches. For those of you that have followed along with me, started in the leadership and sales space, then went into the empowerment space for the LGBT community. Realized that that wasn't something that brought me to life every day. So I've kind of slid into this new era, realizing that this has always been a part of my message. For those of you that have explored around my YouTube channel and maybe had followed me on other social media platforms, you probably saw that passion has always been something that I try to connect with. My YouTube channel message, if you go through and find it, says something along the lines of, I hope that my content doesn't inspire you to want to be more like me, but to figure out who you are and go out and live your best life. So that's what I want people to be able to achieve, and that's what I love helping people achieve as a coach. I've gotten to work with so many beautiful people over this last 2 years since I've reestablished myself as a coach that helps people connect to their passions. But also, there's just so much to reflect on. For those of you that followed me on other platforms, you might have noticed that I've disappeared off of the Meta platforms, as well as X/Twitter, and I even tried out Blue Sky. I've never been a Twitter person, so Blue Sky functioned very similarly to Twitter. So I kind of jumped off of that one as well. Not on Snapchat anymore. So for any of you who may see profiles pop up with my content on it, just know I'm only here on YouTube as well as LinkedIn. Those are the only two platforms I'm currently operating on. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I realized when it came to connecting with more people in the professional realm, and hopefully you all are able to connect to it and relate to it as well. But one thing that I've always been open to is the fact that the way I do things and the way that I find success is unique to me. And although people may be able to connect to my story, and maybe parts of my story can inspire the next steps in your own journey, it's still a unique journey. And something that I've noticed a lot in the professional world, especially in the coaching world or any area of expertise where people are trying to educate you on taking your next steps in that niche area, is a lot of people try to make the statement that this is the way, the only way that you can achieve success. And I've had a lot of conversations with other professionals in my field, and there's always been a lot of friction because a lot of them have found really strong passion in the way that they found a way forward. Whether it's through fear or through obstacles that they had to overcome. A lot of them establish themselves as, I am the expert, I know the answer, and this is it. And I've never been the type of person who sits well with, there's only one way of doing something. I think we are far too complex of human beings to ever assume that there's only one way to do something. And I've always challenged people when it comes to making statements of saying like, this is the way to get what I'm saying you can get. And I've had a lot of different coaches, I think, become uncomfortable speaking to me because they are so confident in what they are providing as the answer. And my response is always like, yeah, that is one possible way of doing it. And I think that me saying a possible way offends them because they have spent so much time dedicating themselves to creating this process. And for me, as I've grown further into my career as a coach, I hit 8 years this past September, so I'm going on 9 almost. But I noticed that there are so many unique ways to get the same message across. There are so many unique, complex ways to get to an end goal. And for me, even when I connect with professionals, like say, I just read Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, and there were so many bits and pieces that I really liked about what she wrote there. There were also parts of it where I was like, this is kind of self-explanatory, very simple information. I can't believe she's selling so many copies of this book because it's such a simple idea. But I also say that's one way of doing it. There's so many different coaches out there that I think try to replicate other people's theories of how to overcome obstacles instead of doing some deep self-reflection and kind of figuring out their way of moving through obstacles and sharing that unique perspective with people. Because yes, Mel Robbins' great. She's obviously got something going for her because she is best-selling her books. She has got a #1 podcast. She's connecting with all these other great growing minds of the world today. And I think that there are still going to be people who pick up her book and don't connect with the message. And the reason they don't connect is because they are meant to connect with someone else's message. Maybe it's mine. Maybe it is another content creator out there or coach out there. Maybe they're more aligned with Jay Shetty's message and the way he moves forward. Maybe they're more connected with Lewis Howes and how he's doing his thing. But I wanted to create this video because I think that it's really important for us to realize that a lot of times when we connect with other people's content and the way that they're sharing their message, we may not connect with it 100%. We may say, that doesn't work in my scenario. I mean, Mel Robbins is a white woman. And when it comes to being a white woman, there are different challenges than if you were someone of a different minority status, or maybe if you're a guy. So I think it's important for us to realize that as we go, that we won't connect with everyone. And just because a super successful coach is saying that this is a way forward, if it doesn't work for you, don't feel like you're a failure and that the one way of winning and succeeding isn't meant for you because you're shy or you are more artistic than you are data driven. All of those personality traits matter. And I think even as I read different books, there are times where I'm like, I really don't connect with the person that wrote this book. Like the way that they wrote it just doesn't resonate with me. And I've learned to kind of, instead of beating myself up for not connecting with it, just accepting that we're probably on different spectrums of the personality types and their way of communicating doesn't align with my way of receiving the information. And that's okay. And I wanted to share this message because I just think that a lot of times I connect with new professionals or new coaches or new people starting out on a journey of becoming an expert in an area. And a lot of times at the beginning, they're very open to hearing what other people have to say. But then at some point on their journey, they become very rigid and very stuck in their way is the way. And I think that for me on my journey, I've always made it clear that I am aware that what I am currently doing and how I'm celebrating my success and the successes that are coming to me through the things that I'm doing may not align with everyone. And that's okay. There are clients that I've worked with where we didn't sign a new contract because we weren't on the same journey. And instead of being offended that someone says your way of doing it's just not working for me, I say, you know what, I wish you the best. I hope that you find your way of doing things and the journey that will take you to your goal, because that is my ultimate goal for the people that I connect with. Is I want them to reach their goals like I've reached a lot of mine. And as I continue to grow myself, I've picked up different techniques that I can apply to the journey that I'm on to get to my new goals. But I'm also having to reach past some of the resources that I have and the experts in my field and say, okay, like this is Tony Robbins' way of doing things and Drummond's way is different. And what does that mean? How is my journey going to be different? And how does someone like me get to this end goal that I'm seeing other people reach, but the journey that they took, I don't have the tools to do it that way, or I don't have the resources to do it that way. What resources and knowledge and wisdom do I have from my journey that can help me get to this goal, whether it's taking a different path or connecting to a different type of mentor who does things differently? I think that it's just really important for us on our journey to be aware that there are so many different ways of doing things, and that is perfectly okay. And on my journey, YouTube was where I started off, and I switched over to the Meta platforms, and I was doing my positive talks over there, and I built something that I really loved. And there were people who wanted me to teach them how they could mimic my journey so that they could find similar success to what I was doing. And what I realized as I was working with people is maybe Instagram Lives and utilizing that platform is not your way forward. Maybe we need to take a deeper dive into you, your values, your strengths, and build something that you can move forward in with confidence. Because I have been a social media person, like we said, for going on 20, we're past 20 years now, but for 20 years, this has been my world. And so for me, a lot of my success is tied to utilizing social media platforms, which I've removed myself from, and I'm coming back to YouTube because this is a place where I felt like my core was still connected to. And I was asking myself, like, okay, what are my strengths? What are things that I can utilize moving forward to still stay connected and still move towards my goals that I have for myself as an entrepreneur and a content creator and a coach and a partner and all the other titles that I hold near and dear to my heart. And I really realized that I have a lot of strengths and I've learned a lot on my journey, and I'm going to utilize those things as I move forward to reach my goals that I want to reach. And that's what I want you to take from this video as well, is that you as well have many, many things that you have achieved through your life, you've learned through your life experiences, and those things can be used to help you get towards your goals. But if you look at another person and what they're doing and try to do it the same way that they've done it, you may be lacking some of the things that they have from their life, and that's okay. It just means that you probably won't be able to rock climb if you don't have the gear yet. Maybe you need to grab that gear and learn how to rock climb, but don't compare yourself to someone who's done it for 20 years and say, oh, they got up that wall so fast and it's taking me like hours to do it. If you're going to try to mimic someone's journey, be aware that a lot of times, by the time we see them doing it successfully, they're years into learning that skill and we're at the beginning. So don't beat yourself up. I guess that's the main purpose of this video. Is I want you all to know that I see you. I want you to see yourself. I want you to take note and take stock of the wisdom and skills that you have obtained in your lifetime, and then utilize those things when you come up to a challenge or you're trying to reach your goals. Say, okay, this is what I've got. Like, how can I make this, everything that I've got, work for me? And be careful. Like, we live in a world now where social media, our social norms, our society as a whole, are trying to sell you things, saying that you will not be able to achieve your goal unless you do it this way, unless you have this product that we're selling, unless you have this knowledge we're selling. But be aware that if you take time to really evaluate you, your strengths, your weaknesses, the things that you have done in your lifetime, you can probably come up with a way to move towards your goal in a way that is suited for you and everything that you have obtained in your lifetime. And don't worry about the way other people are doing it. I always tell people, when I read books, I probably take like at most 5% of the knowledge that they share away with me to use later in my life. And when it comes to that, it's because I'm aware that for me, my journey is singular. It is something that will be very different than anyone else's. And therefore, no matter how many authors write books, there will never be an author that has taken the exact journey that I've been on. So the resources and knowledge and connections that they have are going to be different than the ones that I have. So there's no way that an author can write a book specifically for you that's going to be 100% on point with how you are going to have to move forward from after reading that book and moving towards your goals. So landing on that and me pointing out that the best thing that I've ever done is hiring a coach, one that sits with me and sorts through all my stuff. We're like, okay, this is the goal I want to achieve. Let's start digging through all my accomplishments, all the things that I know, all the things I have access to, and let's put all these things together to form a constructive way forward. And that's why I think that it's so beautiful that I get to be a coach and help people with that, because anything that's created cookie cutter or to reach mass audiences is usually very generic and not meant for you to take everything so literally. There will be pieces where it's like, that's not for me, that won't be useful in my goal towards, or my journey towards my goal. And that's okay. And as you go through your journey, I hope that you are able to sit with yourself and take stock. take stock of what you've got. And if you need help, reach out to a coach. It doesn't have to be me. If you do align with me and the way that I navigate through life, I would love to have a conversation with you. But overall, this video is just my message to you all to not be too concerned about those people who are so sure that there's this one way of achieving something. If it doesn't fit, don't stress out. It just means that there's something else out there for you that works better. Don't force yourself into a cookie cutter when you're never meant to be put into a cookie cutter situation. And go out and be your most unique self and figure out what that means on your journey and reaching your goals. But thank you all once again for all the support and love that you've shown me over the years. Hopefully I will be back creating content here consistently for you all. And I will leave some links down below if you're interested in connecting with me. I'm still running my website. My positive talks that I've previously recorded can be accessed through my website. They're all still on YouTube. They're just privated. I'm recreating my space. So I look forward to reconnecting with all of you, see where life has taken you, because it has been quite some time since I've connected with people on this platform, but I'm looking forward to connecting with you in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure you turn on that notification so that you get notified whenever I post a new video, because I know YouTube is a very saturated platform and I want you all to know when I'm creating content so we can stay connected. But hopefully you all are having a good week, and I will talk to you soon. Happy 2025, everyone.